every day Esau's getting exposed. At least the flock, Amalek, and on down. Every day they're getting exposed. And in the midst of a peace deal, right? The so-called peace deal got signed yesterday. Shalom, first and foremost, like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, double honor, Zales and Apostles of Great Millstone, who are teachers of truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakians out there in four corners of the earth who proclaim this truth. Braka the Yahweh, Braka the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Brakatum. So, you don't get any more sick than Esau, especially Amalek. And, well, Esau's being exposed by his own, People blowing the whistle on him all the time, and they're getting tired of this, of Amalek, a.k.a. these Israelis running everything and getting away with everything. More than just getting away with murder. Hell, they're picking up all the corpses, as this video goes into. Just wickedness in every way possible, in every place possible. That's why the Most High is about to destroy this place with fire.
Well, the University of Southern California found that the Israeli military is buying human cadavers from its university for medical training alongside the U.S. military, specifically the U.S. Navy. Now, this is a student-led report out of USC. They also found that the IDF is using these bodies that were donated to the University of California, San Diego, so that's UCSD, which is a public school. USC is a private school. The bodies are filtered through the U.S. Navy because the Navy has a contract with these universities, and then they train on them in the U.S. alongside Israeli military surgeons who are flown in to these universities for these trainings. What they're doing specifically is practicing on simulated combat injuries, including gunshot wounds to the chest and legs, and blasts to the face and torsos from IEDs. Now, they also use something called cadaver perfusion services. Here's where they report that. What that means is they pump fake blood through the dead body to make the cadaver as lifelike as possible, mimicking the active bleeding of wounded soldiers on the battlefield. Now think about this, if this was being done to your grandmother, who's dead, on her body. It's incredibly disturbing, right? Now, Al Jazeera found that families of the deceased, many of them did not have any idea that their loved ones' bodies were being used like that. In this expose, they also have found, again, that Israel sends surgeons to the front lines with the IDF soldiers increasingly since 2023. So these same surgeons are training in American universities and then going out with the IDF to treat IDF soldiers. This woman here, whose grandmother donated her body to UCSD, said, I didn't realize we were having international militaries come here to train on our families' bodies, especially militaries that are accused of war crimes and actively murdering people. She says most people, like my grandma, go to a decision like this thinking they're going to do something better for the world, not thinking like, oh, I'm going to donate my body and somehow it's going to make some military force more powerful.
Heaven forbid you should have a donor
USC has supplied at least
on your ID card, right?
As part of an agreement involving training for both the U.S. Navy and the IDF. But that wasn't enough. Their need was even greater. So USC went to UC San Diego, again, a public state school, to donate more. They say at least 124 bodies have been transferred, according to this report, from UCSD to USC between 2024 and early 2026. So presumably people who donate their bodies to research, even to the state of California, because UCSD is a state school, are at risk for their bodies then being funneled through USC, the private school, to train the Israeli military to assist its soldiers in their genocidal missions. I don't know if this is important, but I went to USC, so I'll just disclose that. I didn't know this was happening at the time.
But you didn't sell any cadavers?
I didn't work on any cadavers. I didn't sell any cadavers. I was in a sociology program.
But you sure did date some stiffs.
That's pretty good. That's funny.
So there you have it, though. Dead bodies being sold to IDF. But wait, there's more going on, right? We always got something going on. Fix the screen for you, Salakia.
The Lord said to you,
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
Alright, you heard that.
That was a dream.
Play one more time, Lord.
what did you say the Lord said to you?
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
Alright, see, there's a heavy vision that this young Israelite girl had. Okay, when Lord Lee told her, okay, how about Shemel Shai told her, that again, I'm getting ready to destroy my people, man. Alright? Who are those people? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You see this young Israelite girl, like a...
Let Esau have his way with you.
Lord showed her the vision. Okay, Lord's about to get ready to destroy the massive majority of his people. Okay? Of course, 2/3 here in Babylon the Great, as well as all the rebels scattered abroad. Alright? because they says I created them to worship me, and they've turned against me. Okay, and that's what we see. That's not the Lord. He says mouthpiece, which is the prophets out here that they're speaking and trying to tell mercy to our people. The Lord trying to reason, like saying Isaiah, it says, "Come, let's reason together. Though your sins be as red as scarlet," it says it should be white as snow. The Lord is willing to have mercy and compassion upon his people. But we know it's already written in prophecy that 2/3, as well as the rebels scattered abroad, they wouldn't repent, man. That's what we see. So the Lord's getting ready to pour out his wrath in the nation. Okay, that was a very, very heavy video. The elders come upload it. I'm sure more and more, bro. That's why I hope Pastor Hardy responds to it. I'm sure more and more brothers will respond to it. But like I said, I'm just, man, bro, let's say again, the Lord's getting ready to pour out wrath, man. Wrath. Okay, we see it. We see all the nations, like around the 14th chapter, the Lord said he's going to gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Okay, and the house should be taken, and the house is rifled. People should be taking the houses rifled, and the women ravished, man. The Lord's getting ready to give over the majority of his people to a prey again to the heathen, especially Esau, Edom, all the heathen. All the heathen right now are in that ancient hatred, that extreme envy and jealousy of us being the chosen people. The Lord's getting ready to unleash that upon Jacob again, man. And he ain't going to help them. He's going to turn his back. Because, again, like that young Israelite girl said in the vision, the Lord was talking to her. He said, I create my people to worship me, but they have turned against me. You see, and that's his day, man. I'm going to read this verse. This is Isaiah 1 and 2. It says, Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh, for the Lord Yahweh have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. You see? Again, we were created to worship the Lord. You Israelites, so-called blessed children, Native Americans, hey, the Lord is out here with the prophets crying out to you, man, for decades now. Out here crying out to you. Like I said, literally just it's early morning Monday. It's 1:30 a.m. Monday. But literally just Saturday, we was out there prophesying, man. You got camps, but literally we're doing concerning GMS, man. Because again, even that's off. You got Jake who know the Israelites teaching the wrong fucking thing, man. Tripping, right? But yet, nevertheless, how about Shimei Shai? He has the real prophet's great millstone teaching the correct doctrine. We brothers going out multiple times. You got brothers going out on Friday. Brothers going out on Saturday. That's the main day we go out. Sunday, we got Tuesday camp here. It's literally brothers going to camp every fucking day. And then of course we're doing these videos
one way or another. I go out on Friday.
Giving them all the explanation, giving them answers to all the questions you have as Israelites, man. Why are we in this low state? Why can our people get along? Why are women so out of order? Why are men so bugged out and sodomites, man? Why do these heathen nations that are inferior to us, why do they have the supremacy, man? Okay? We're giving all the answers, but they don't want to hear it, man. So again, hey man, we're coming to I'm not saying this. It was like 2 years ago, really. We're coming to another terrible time in Israel's history. The same thing we read about 70 AD and the translated slave trade when the Syrians took over the northern kingdom, has captivity. All these horrific atrocities that happened to us. Hey, Jacob's trouble's coming. Daniel 12 and 1. Okay, the time of troubles as never was. Like, it's so bad that we need the Lord. How about you? Shai's gonna have the great Prince Michael stand up and the chief archangel. Okay, to come help the elect, man, because it's gonna be so fucking brutal and graphic out here, man. The Lord gonna send Esau, Edom as a weapon after our people, man. All right. So like, I might make this long time. I'm driving home. The brothers gather for watch the fight or whatever, but it's just I'm just saying that was a heavy video, man. Like literally, man. Bro, how about you on Shai? Man, the Lord is fed up with Israel, man. He's fed up with our people. And again, that's a
UFC at the White House this week too.
How about you on Shai? Have mercy upon us, because we do not want to get caught up in this. It's the way the Lord's framing this, like we've been going into these race wars happening. The Lord has it set up where. And really, when you go into it, that was really part of the lesson why we're here in all these captivities, man. Why the Lord even had this happen, all right? Because the Lord wanted to show Israelites, okay, Israel, our people, that we ain't shit without Him. He wanted to show us that, like, look, the reason why we're so great is because of Him, okay? The reason why we can prosper is because of Him. Because even right now, we're great. Like I said, we're the best at everything. It says, for example, we just got done watching the combat sports, UFC. Like, bro, nobody can hang with Israelite men for real. But again, if the Lord want to, the Lord can set up, Daniel 4:17, he can set up the basis of men. He can have an Edomite overcome you, and really, carnally, he shouldn't be able to. But again, the Lord can do that, all right? So that was always the thing. I'm quoting a lot of precepts. I'm not grabbing everyone. Forgive me. It's late. I'm tired. I'm driving home. Okay, I got to pull over the park for a second so I can just finish the lesson out. But again, I'm about to go home. But literally, that was the point, man. Like the Lord, even though carnally, like, man, for example, how the fuck is this weak so-called white man over us? All these motherfuckers are way inferior to Israel. Man, we could beat all these nations at the same damn time. But what? If the Lord spiritually intervenes and makes it like, oh, we read the curses. I can go to that. You know, I get that. Deuteronomy 28, the curses. Slack you 1 second. It is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 25. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. You see? So again, that's what happens. The thing that always hinders the sons of God is simple as this. All the carnal stuff doesn't matter. Either you're obeying how about Shimei Shai, you're doing what he tells you to do, or you're not. If you do what he tells you to do, then he'll have you prosper. If you're not doing what he tells you to do, he'll have you fail, he'll have your enemies overcome you. The Lord created enemies for us, and again, we fall beneath them. We're over them. We're supposed to be over them, but the Lord allows them to overtake us if we're not obeying him. When Israel is disobedient, that's when the Lord sends the nations for his wrath, man. All right, let me get this in Zechariah, so I quoted it. Zechariah 14. And 1, it says, behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from that city. Right? So again, hey, that's what's ready to happen. I say on the line, Saturday. Yeah, he's women too, because they've been living here saying fuck the Israelite man. Okay, they say the hell with the Lord, the hell with the sons of God. We're going to team up with the enemy. All right, the same thing he's been doing since the 3rd chapter, man. Right? So, but then, hey, you bitches about to get rude awakening too. It's not just the Israelite man, you these women too. Y'all about to find out Esau hates you too. You see how quickly they fucking forget, bitch. You was getting lynched too. You was getting raped too. You was getting fucking tortured, all type of experimented on too. It was like the sons of God, man. But these bitches, they look at us like we the enemy, you know? But again, hey, the Lord allowed us to happen, man. Like I said, going back to that vision, the Lord said, I created my people to worship me, but they have turned away from me. Verse 3, then shall the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. So again, that's our hope, man. Our hope is, we know, again, everything's according to prophecy, man. It's prophecy. The Lord said, well, he's going to blind 2/3 eyes and not get it. They're going to get judged. Isaiah 6 chapter comes to mind, all right? Romans was at 11th chapter. The election have obtained it, but the rest were blinded, okay? And then, like I said, concerning this, we know it's going to be an elect, okay? The prophesied elect will get it. They will repent. Okay, the Lord will have mercy upon them and defend them in time of trouble, man. I said, Daniel 12:1. All right, that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to how about Shemel Shai to deliver us in this time of trouble. I can end on that, Lord willing, because we need deliverance, man. Because Lord, again, we'll say that worm Jacob, the Lord got us in a completely helpless state. We don't have no might. All right, Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up. We're rapidly approaching that time, man. The great prince was standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So again, the elect are going to be delivered, and the rejects of Israel are going to be destroyed, man. So we're hoping to be part of the ones the Lord's going to have mercy upon. Let's say that was a heavy vision. Let's say young Israelite girl has a vision, man. The Lord telling her, I don't know, title be something along those lines, man. Again, like I said, the young Israelite girl has a vision of the Lord saying how he's about to destroy his people, man. Because again, he created us to worship him, but our people don't want to do that, man. So the Lord's going to have to learn after death by pain. As a spirit, I'm wrapping up the video at exactly 1:44 a.m., man. Lord willing, part of that number, and Lord willing, that hedge of protection will be around us in the time of trouble. So call Elohim La, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash, Double Honor, Apostle, Great Millstone, Kwame Yashua, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.
Trump has 24 hours left, and he's out of options and frankly totally trapped, regardless of any kind of mediated agreement with Pakistan. So Trump is staring down two paths right now, and both of them are politically toxic.
This is what's going on.
Path one, keep this 2 or 3 days away charade going. No one believes it, by the way. Let the negotiations drag through the summer. Walk into the midterm elections with American troops still deployed in the Middle East, and no resolution at all. A betrayal of the exact promise that got him elected.
Yep.
He promised voters he would be the president that ends wars.
Yep.
He was even asked about it this week.
He insisted no new wars.
First of all, I can guarantee no war.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. No more wars. No more disruptions.
Yep.
We will have
He lied to you.
and we will have peace.
He has failed
Under Trump,
you.
We will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will
It's
have
hilarious to see these Edomites still look up to him. Hell.
Yeah, that's not a good look. And then path two, lose your patience, issue an ultimatum, make some bravado statements on Fox News about destroying a civilization, and risk a renewed kinetic war that sends oil prices right back through the roof, shuts down Hormuz completely, makes every single person, allies, markets, voters, all furious all over again.
Trump is the laughing stock.
There is no good door here. And the last 48 hours shows us exactly why. On Friday, President Trump posted on Truth Social that leaked Iranian ceasefire terms were fake news, saying they had nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing, and called the Iranians very dishonorable people to deal with, adding there is no such thing as dealing in good faith with Iran. Well, days before that, Israel and Iran traded their worst strikes in months. An Iranian official told CNN that Tehran
this all happened last week.
Not being truthful.
See how fast things are moving?
And then Iran considers the negotiations themselves part of the battle. And
things are speeding up for the elect's sake.
The claim that a deal could be reached in 2 or 3 days. How many times have we heard that before? And then open Hormuz again.
Being turned up.
Once that deal was signed. The Iranians have said they want to charge a toll, which would change all naval transport as we know it. Fake news, dishonorable people, part of the battle, 2 or 3 days. All of that in under 1 week. And then CENTCOM released a crazy tweet saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open. It's not open at all. I mean, a total lie. Just look at the Hormuz tracker. 0 ships going through. And if any go through, there are just a few Chinese vessels approved by Iran. Otherwise, nothing is allowed to pass. So this isn't a deal in progress. This is a hostage situation with a press release attached to it. Now, here's the part that should make every single American furious, because this is where it stops being foreign policy and it starts hitting your bank account directly.
Yep.
Since this operation began back in February, and really since the buildup started in January, the market completely repriced the Federal Reserve, repriced the Fed. Before this, we were on track for the kind of rate cuts that would have saved America hundreds of billions of dollars in interest payments on that $39 trillion in national debt. It would have made housing actually affordable again for working families. Real relief.
Yeah.
Real America First economics.
Hell, try to even rent a place.
Dropping. All of it good for America as we head into our 250th celebration. The things that people voted for from Trump. Instead, the market now has priced in these hikes. Yes, rate hikes are now priced in because of inflation fears tied directly to this Iranian conflict.
And you've heard of bank bail-ins.
not to mention
Which
the
is
food
worse than
shock and the
bailouts.
consumer price shock. And of course, we saw those new CPI numbers, which were devastating this past week. And look at what that did to hard assets overall. Silver has cratered 45% from its highs. Gold down a staggering $1,400 from its record high. So the exact assets that protect regular Americans from this kind of
Recipe for
chaos
disaster,
got
isn't
crushed
it?
by the chaos. So let's be clear about the math here. Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, a route that handles roughly 20% of global crude and gas flows, triggering the most severe disruption in oil markets in years. Even with a ceasefire technically in place, shipping levels through the strait remain almost non-existent, very low. And the U.S. has imposed its own counter-blockade, which President Trump says is the greatest blockade in world history. That's on ships seeking to use Iranian ports. So, well, there's nothing going on there. Nothing's happening. In other words, the artery of the global oil supply has been strangled for months by both sides, while the administration keeps telling you that a deal is imminent. This is the Trump taco pattern in real time.
Yep,
If you don't know
taco.
what taco means, it just means Trump always chickens out. Taco.
Yep, taco.
Tuesday. So tomorrow it's
Taco
almost
Trump.
done. Friday it's these
Taco
dishonorable
Bell,
people, no good
Taco
faith. Next
Bell,
week it's 2 or
Taco
3
Bell.
days again. A week before that it was Benjamin Netanyahu, you're a piece of garbage. The only reason you're in office is because of me.
And you still got that
2 or 3
charade
days
going
again,
on.
And I'm in charge, and Bibi's not in charge. And the entire time, all of this is going on. All of these theatrics, your gas prices,
you
your mortgage
are.
rate, your retirement account are all being yanked around by a negotiation that Iran itself openly says is only using as part of the battle. Basically, the real cost of war so far is grossly understated. It's not just the military expenditures. It's all of the lost GDP from households that postponed originating mortgages, going on vacation, starting a small business.
Gee,
And I ask
yeah,
you,
right.
is any
Can
of
you
this
afford
attrition
that?
of our national mood to be considered American and patriotic by this administration? Like all of this pressure? So which path does Trump take? Prolong it, limp into the midterms with this albatross still hanging around our necks?
Overhead, the
Risks some oil inflation
albatross
into a tailspin right as Americans
and
are already furious about the cost
motionless
of living.
upon the air.
Americans don't want a war in Iran. The poll numbers are overwhelming. Or is there a possible third way in all of this? Turn tail and just leave. Like Lucy in the Peanuts cartoons, just take your football and leave. Admit defeat.
Yep. Turn your tail, go home. Fuck you all, go home. Right? Because like everything else, so if it was a real election and all that, this guy would have been out of office long ago, right? But you know that there's no such thing as actual elections because, hey, they've been saying that Harrison won, and now Harris would have been a joke too. But nonetheless, though, they're saying that Harrison won, that the elections were rigged once again. But, it just shows you how much of a charade it is, a charade, however you want to say it, Ha ha, charade you are. Yeah, I like a little bit of Pink Floyd on the side, but that's neither here nor there. Pretty much so. You're seeing it, man. You're seeing the downfall of Esau Edom. There's this old saying, because I remember Dennis Leary putting this up there. I'm going to hell, but you're all coming with me. Well, that's what Esau's doing. He's taking everybody else to hell with him. If there was such a place called hell. But he's already in it right now. See, hell is when someone else is rising up, right? They're getting their taste of heaven, while the other's getting their taste of hell. Now Esau is catching hell. I'm not saying that Israelites are in their glory as of yet, but the house of David's being built up, and we're able to withstand a lot of shit. A lot of shit, man, that put Esau in a mental overload. Man, we know how to take it, man. Hey, man, we put out good songs. We put out good music, man. Even though we've been whipped to death, we've been beaten, we've been bruised, yet we're still singing. You got me working, working day and night. Got me working, working day and night. And we're still jolly. We still get the women. We have all these things that Esau could never have. See, Esau wants something he could never have. He tried, and for a while he was in his heaven, but his version of heaven, he's got to steal from everybody else, and even still, with this lying, cheating, stealing, and killing, his women still can't stand him. They were still getting with Jake, even during slavery, even during all that time, man. They were still getting with Jake. Why do you think there's Israelite foreigners everywhere, like myself, that look like the Edomite, but yet at the same time, hey, man, he was getting down, or not, but the female Edomite, man, she was getting down with Jake, and you got Israelite foreigners everywhere. They're going to look like the other nations. You got Israelite foreigners everywhere because we're not in our homeland as a whole yet. So, what do you got, man? See, we're in the times now where it was said, you are not my people, yet you are the chosen people, right? Because this truth has been out for a while, ever since 1970 on and on up, man. Apostle Tahar has been teaching the truth ever since. It's held that high, you know, from Apostle, you know, from Elijah on down, because we know who Elijah was, Abba Bivens, you know, and yet Apostle Tahar's kept that torch, man. And Great Millstone came from Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, you know, and Apostle Ramlab. And you have lots and lots of saints that came right through Great Millstone on down, man. And it's a beautiful thing to know that, yes, where it said that we are not the people, yet we are called the sons of the Most High. And Esau can't stand it that we're back in our glory. And we're singing. And we're still joyful. We're still joyful. We have that joy that he could never have. See, Esau, he can't have the joy. He tried. He really tried when he had us in slavery and all that. The only thing he could do is get more and more pissed off about it. Yeah, his women still desire us. He's beaten the shit out of us. He's bloodied us to death. Yet, at the same time, though, we still rejoice into singing because we know a better day was coming. And we're in that better day now. Yeah, it's getting bitter. This is a bitter place because America means bitter, but yet at the same time, though, we're rising up, and Esau is failing in every way possible. You know, and we're praying that he continues to fail. U.S. submits East Mediterranean energy access alongside Israeli state, Greece, and Cyprus. Turkey temporarily shelved a draft law to establish an economic zone that would overlap with Greek and Cypriot claims. So, like everything else, though, that's a problem, right? You know, because again, you know, everything runs through Turkey, which happens to be the center point of the Mediterranean and, of course, of West Asia. Representatives from Cyprus, Greece, and Israel and the U.S. officially launched the Eastern Mediterranean Energy Center on the 11th of June, establishing a new framework for cooperation on energy and critical infrastructure security. The initiative also included a dedicated working group tasked with coordinated cybersecurity efforts and safeguarding key infrastructure. So like everything else, though, you know, well, look at this, though. And then they said that the rivers of Euphrates would dry up. So here we go. You know, because if you hadn't seen what the Great River Euphrates looks like, and this is going off a little bit as far as the topic this is just where I happen to be led at. But yet at the same time, though, we know that the Great River Euphrates was dried up. And so for the first time in a while, Syrian president pours cold water on U.S. claims of willingness to enter Lebanon. Trump recently said he wants to see a surgical attack against Hezbollah and added that Syria can help with that. And al-Jilani, al-Shara, says no. Okay? And the Great River Euphrates is dry, and you know that that runs through Syria and Iraq. So he said no. Straight out. Syria's self-appointed president, former al-Qaeda chief al-Shara, said on 11th of June that talks of Damascus forces entering Lebanon was rumors days after U.S. President Trump threatened Beirut with a Syrian military incursion. So he's saying no. He is saying no. You know why? Turkey doesn't want a war with Lebanon. Turkey is tired of being brought into this war because, let's face it, Syria and Turkey are one. Okay? Al-Jilani, al-Shara are part of the Turkish military. Even though they don't call themselves Turks, they were also known as Hayat al-Shem, which was Jabhat al-Nusra front group, or also known as Syrian, what do you call that? Hold on a second. Free Syrian Army. So that's a deal broken to Turkey, and they don't want to be dragged into this. They, even though they did have a deal with the Israeli state, to stay in power and all that, when they took over Bashar al-Assad, because there's been differences between Erdogan and Assad for a long time. So, but nonetheless, though, Turkey has been coming against the Israeli state. Syrian president went on to say that border demarcation with Lebanon is not a priority at the moment, given more urgent problems, particularly the situation of some 1.4 million Syrian refugees in Lebanon and the need to find an adequate mechanism to ensure their safe return. His comments come days after U.S. President Trump threatened Lebanon and its resistance Hezbollah with an incursion by Shah's forces. So, like everything else, though, he's saying no. And yet, is still claiming the peace deal. And, you know, after the so-called peace deal yesterday, Trump wants to end the Ukraine war. Oh boy, here we go again. President Trump expressed an urgent desire to end the war between Russia and Ukraine during a phone call on Sunday with Russian President Vladimir Putin. So giving you the idea that he could still make peace deals, right? In a separate call the same day, President Trump also spoke to Ukraine's President Zelensky. President Trump expressed urgent desire to end the war between Russia and Ukraine during a phone call on Sunday with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The call took place just hours before President Trump confirmed the peace deal between the U.S. and Iran. As you might expect, it was merely an exchange of pleasantries. He said the discussion was informal and that President Trump said he would use the upcoming G7 summit due to take place this week in France to stress the importance of ceasing hostilities. So, like everything else, pretended to be a peace president, right? But this is what's been going on over there in Europe, okay? There's still clashes between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, this war's been going on now since 2022, 4 years. Back and forth, back and forth. See, we're not at a time of peace. We're at war. We're the only ones telling you that it ain't going to be no fucking cakewalk. And we're going to be caught in this, but yet at the same time, we won't be. In the essence of, okay, the Most High is going to take care of us. Yeah, we're going to go through some poverty and things like that, and we're not sure where the next check's going to come from, etc. But we're going to find ways, you know, to survive. Not to mention, we're going to be going through a lot of trials. I mean, through much trial, can you enter there within, right? Because I'm in a position right now that I couldn't afford you know, either one of the so-called surgeries, which I don't put a lot of emphasis on it, but if it ever came down to it, you know, but at the same time couldn't even, you know, again, you know, Esau has a ransom, okay, straight out the gate that he's holding a ransom over us, you know, that, oh, well, you don't have enough money, so we're not going to do anything at all to help your dog with a broken leg. So only thing we could do, because the Most High is still in charge of recovery and all that, only thing we could do is still keep on using the splint that we was given, you know, no, we paid $800 for that, but, and we're still paying that off, yet, you know, and rewrap it, which we bought the materials for that, and let the Most High be in charge of the healing process, you know. We just pray that that all works out, because guess what? If you go down to Egypt for help, yeah, you're going to get a punch in the face. He's going to tell you, you ain't got enough money, we ain't going to do shit for you. I mean, that's how this motherfucker rolls, man. He holds everything over you as a fucking ransom, and we're fucking tired of Esau, man. We're fucking tired of it. And guess what, though? Everything else is dropping, man. He ain't worth shit. Yeah, he can be charging you up the ass for something, but guess what? He ain't fucking shit. He ain't fucking shit unless he steals from you, unless he steals from somebody else's resource. And even with the stealing of all the resources, it's still failing. It's all failing. U.S. futures global stocks surge. Oil tumbles on Iran deal. Global markets soared in a risk of rally. Following the announcement of U.S. Iran deal Sunday night, stocks and bonds railed, well, oil tumbled to 3-month low after U.S. and Iran have reached an interim agreement to reopen the strait and halt the war. This will provide a 60-day window for negotiation. So another 60 days of delay. But we know what the scriptures say, that this war is still going to break out. U.S.-Iran deal now complete, Trump says. U.S. President Trump announced the peace deal with Iran is now complete, signaling the reopening of the strait. I hereby fully announce the toll-free opening of the strait, and simultaneously herewith authorize the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade ships of the world. Start your engines now. Let the oil flow. Trump wrote on Truth Social. And if you remember in 2020, just right before all the car crashes, I've seen, I believe, Ryan Newman crash. I mean, just a whole bunch of crashes. You know, 2020 was the year of the, it was a year of prophecy, by the way. But that was the year of the COVID hoax. And so Trump showed up at NASCAR and said, gentlemen, start your engines. And guess what? They had to delay that till the next morning. And then the next morning when it actually started, crash after crash. See, to the very end, Ryan Newman actually was the most hurt by it, but there was car crash after car crash, showing you, giving you a provision of what was going to happen with Trump. Well, I could see clearly, spiritually, what that all meant, what they were trying to tell, because they always put everything within their videos and all that, and NASCAR is a big-time favorite of a lot, and I just seen that, okay, yeah, and he's going to keep on crashing and everything, and just so we crash after crash after crash, and we see that spiritually now with the re-election of Trump and everything that's taken place. The U.S. and Iran previously stated a memorandum of understanding was largely finalized. According to Iran, the document would focus on ending the war and reopening the strait, while Iran's nuclear program would be addressed in separate negotiations within the 60 days of its signing. If they're talking about the enriched uranium, because they haven't built a nuclear weapon. For the most part, that's from the Iran side, of it. And like everything else, who are they to say whether they can or can't possess a nuclear weapon when Pakistan has nuclear weapons? All these other countries have nuclear weapons. Saudi Arabia has nuclear weapons, so we definitely know Israeli state has secret nuclear weapons. It's not that much of a secret, but everybody knows because they've been talking about the Samson option for some time. Trump had several heated phone calls with Israeli Prime Minister King Bibi in recent weeks, during which he demanded Israeli stop its airstrikes in Lebanon. Iran previously threatened to suspend the talks until the Israeli operation came to an end. Well, they're going to give you the illusion that King Bibi and Donald Trump ain't getting along, but it's complete fucking bullshit. They are just completely lying to you about that, but it's part of the charade. It's part of the charade, man. So here we go. Peace deal, but will Israel derail it? Well, you know that these things ain't never going to hold, right? Because the scriptures tell us that when they shall say peace and safety, then comes sudden destruction. So we'll listen to this a little bit, because we know that this peace deal ain't going to hold anyways. It's complete bullshit. And no, wait, it's Trump shit. And we know what Trump shit is. That's just when bullshit far exceeds that of anything else, because the king of bullshit, which is basically the king of Babylon, well, you don't get any higher than Trump shit. So here we go, man. Iran peace deal reached. But is it really a peace deal?
Let's cross now to journalist at DD Geopolitics, Christopher Halali. Christopher, welcome to the program. What do you think of this announcement that a peace deal has been reached? Is there really a reason for optimism?
I will say that I'm cautiously optimistic, because now we have confirmation from the Iranian side that indeed a deal has been reached and there has been agreement on an outline of a deal, and the Iranians have confirmed that there will be a signing as well on the 19th of June in Switzerland. But of course, I say this with cautious optimism. This is not the first time that we've had this kind of rodeo, as they say. We've heard about deals before, we've heard about ceasefires before, and I would remain optimistic until the ink is dry on the agreement from both sides.
Of course, the immediate ceasefire on all fronts has also been declared. Do you expect it to hold, particularly in Lebanon?
That is up for, I think, intense speculation at this point. I do not believe personally that it will hold. And the reason is that the internal dynamics in Israel make it so that the Israelis will try to break out on their own and continue to carry out their operations. We heard today from Israeli officials that they will neither withdraw from Lebanon nor territory in Syria that was seized after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, that they will continue their operations as necessary, and that all of their military objectives must be met by destroying Hezbollah and its capabilities. Therefore, it is highly likely, I believe, that the Israelis will derail this process in the coming days by continuing their aggression in Lebanon, as we've seen already before.
And Iran said it reserves the right to defend itself, of course, which encompasses its allies in Lebanon. How do you think Tehran will react if Israel sabotages the announced deal and continues its operation against Lebanon?
If Israel sabotages the deal, which, as I said before, is highly likely, Iran will then say that it's, in fact, the tail that wags the dog, in the sense that it's Israel that controls the United States, not the United States that controls Israel, and that Israel is the one calling the shots here. Clearly, Trump cannot control Israel, and that's what Ali Baf and many other Iranian officials have said so far, that in fact Netanyahu operates much more autonomously and with much more independence than many people would have imagined, if in fact the U.S. does control Israel. But in fact, it looks the opposite, that the Israelis have a lot of latitude to carry out their operations with very little protest from the Americans. We've heard reports of President Trump swearing at Netanyahu on the phone, but clearly that has not deterred Netanyahu from carrying out military operations which are ongoing in Lebanon. At this point, there were attacks today in Lebanon.
It's just a charade, as he's saying.
Especially since the Israeli cabinet believes that this is an existential fight and that it is necessary to pursue their objectives by military means at this point.
Of course, we're still waiting for
stealing
the
more
exact
land
details of the
and
agreement.
occupying
Trump
lands.
said the Hormuz Strait will be open right after the deal is signed. Do you think he means open for all ships without restrictions, or is it possible he's accepted that Iran will still regulate the flow and collect fees?
Well, I think that this is also a little bit of PR and public consumption talk, as we say, from Trump. The markets are about to open around the world, and so slowly he's trying to prepare sort of the ground for this. It's clear that Iran and Oman are preparing a joint agreement on the territorial waters and on the control of the Strait of Hormuz, including a fee system for the upkeep of the Strait of Hormuz. They're not calling it a toll, and Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson has also said that this is not a toll. This is basically an environmental and usage fee. Therefore, this fee language is much easier for people to digest than the toll language, which would violate international law, as Iran already stated. So it's clear that Trump says yes, open for business. The Iranians probably will open up for business, but along their terms. Whether Trump has acknowledged that publicly at this point is not the case. But I believe that any text will show that Iran will maintain a level of control over the Strait of Hormuz, and that a fee structure will be implemented in the Strait of Hormuz's operations.
All right, Christopher Hilali, journalist at DD Geopolitics. Thanks for sharing your analysis with us.
So there you have it, though. Wow, what a deal, huh? Iran to hold U.S. to account for implementation of agreement. Agashi to counterparts. Speaking of separate telephone calls on Monday morning, Hakan Fidan of Turkey, Fidan Hussein of Iraq, Bombarded of Egypt, and representatives from Japan and Saudi Arabia discussed the process and provisions of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. Referring to the responsibility of the United States in implementing the agreement, Agashi emphasized the need for a complete halt to the destabilizing aggressions and the Israeli attacks against Lebanon. See, so that's still part of it. Foreign ministers of Iran, Turkey, Iraq, and Egypt also stressed the continuation of close consultations and cooperation regarding regional developments and the necessity of strengthening diplomatic efforts to maintain peace and stability, peace and safety, peace and security. See the language there? In a conversation with Japanese counterpart, Agashi explained the most important provisions of the Memorandum of Understanding, expressed hope that its implementation would mark the beginning of a new chapter of economic cooperation and investment between the two countries. So, like everything else, it looks like that there is a deal. Despite all precious ceasefire violations and repeated changes in DC's position, the Islamic Republic of Iran insisted on the stance. Following the signing of the memorandum, the two countries will place a series of intensive negotiations on their agenda over the next 60 days to reach a comprehensive agreement on disputed issues. So it's looking like, okay, they are in negotiations. However, we know the Israelis ain't even going to hold to that. They're not holding it to it right now. Iranians' Greek deal to end war with belief, suspicion, and uncertainty. Well, of course there's uncertainty because you can't trust those Israelis. Never trust thine enemy, Amalek. Most Iranians have welcomed the agreement as a chance for stability and economic recovery, but others fear the U.S. and Israeli state will regroup and attack again, of course. Not underestimating their enemy. Has it really ended? I can't believe it. A 32-year-old Tehran resident told Middle East Eye, thank Yahweh, even though they don't call him Yahweh, I still can't believe it's over. I just hope everything goes back to normal. We were exhausted. I'm so happy. Spiderman, who sells handmade jewelry online, said the past 3 weeks had left her business hanging by a thread. And so they're all optimistic, but they're not that optimistic, meaning that, they want an end to the war altogether. They don't want to be attacked again. You can't blame them for that. What we know about the U.S.-Iran deal and the questions that remain. U.S. and Iran have agreed upon a framework, but major questions remain over Lebanon, Hormuz, and Tehran's nuclear program. Late on Sunday, Pakistan's Prime Minister announced that following months of negotiations, the U.S. and Iran had agreed to a peace deal aiming at ending the war and preventing a wider regional conflict. Memorandum of Understanding, due to be signed in Switzerland on Friday, has been welcomed by governments across West Asia and beyond, a potential pathway out of a conflict that has killed thousands, disrupted global energy markets, and raised fears of a broader regional war. Yet, despite the optimism surrounding the agreement, significant questions remain. The full text of the agreement has not been published. Key details are still unclear. Both DC and Tehran have offered only limited information about what has actually been agreed. So, what do we know so far, and what remains uncertain? So like everything else, here's part of it. Iran offers a 60-day toll-free Hormuz transit as hundreds of ships await reopening. But remember, we're still going to go through the June-July, June 16, they said to watch out for. Well, that's tomorrow. And they said especially watch out for the 4th of July that they'll be out of oil. So even though this is going to reopen, we're still going to go through the total drop of running out of oil. We're still going to be going through that. So this shit ain't over with. It's because they reopened, you know, that could get closed at any time. The U.S. and Iran reached an interim agreement to reopen the strait on Sunday evening, just 30 minutes before New York futures open, with officials from both countries to meet in Switzerland on Friday to formally sign the peace deal. According to Iranian outlet Fars, the U.S.-Iran deal reportedly includes a 60-day toll-free window for vessels after the period. If a more permanent deal is agreed upon, Tehran may seek to monetize the Hormuz choke point by charging commercial vessels for service tied to safety, navigation, environmental protection, and insurance. Well, you know, that's fair enough. You know, at the end of the day, does Iran not deserve a memorandum? Did you see this is all done on purpose, as you can tell? There are nearly 300 loaded vessels idling in the Persian Gulf. It's probably more than that, but while a similar number of empty ships are waiting in the Gulf of Oman to return to export terminals. Another 250 ballast vessels inside the Gulf are ready to pick up cargoes if outbound flows resume. So, like everything else, though, it's been at a halt for quite some time. And we're going to feel that very soon. And, of course, the shit show. You know, that King Bibi and Donald Trump can agree upon them. The Israelis are mad, blah, blah, blah. But here's some of it. Trump screwed us. Israeli officials fume over emerging Iran peace deal. The agreement will be interpreted as the U.S. bowing to pressure from Tehran. Israeli officials feel sidelined by the emerging U.S.-Iran peace deal and are furious at what they believe amounts to a catastrophe that fails the objectives set prior to the war, according to a report by the Israeli outlet. So, pretty much though, you know, shit pickle. But, are they really? No. No, they got their asses whipped. Of course they did, but there's a bigger, sinister plan there. And they're just giving you the illusion that Trump and King Bibi disagree upon everything. Remember, King Bibi is Donald Trump's father. And he has to do what his father tells him in the essence that King Bibi fucking owns Donald Trump. According to the reported terms, the agreement would reopen the strait without a toll regime, lift the American naval blockade against Iranian ports, ease sanctions against Tehran, and defer nuclear talks till later. While U.S. President Trump said the agreement would be signed Sunday, Iranian officials said it would happen later. So, pretty much so. Yeah, they're giving you the illusion that Trump and King Bibi don't get along. They always give you the illusion that the one candidate and the other candidate don't get along, right? And they give you the illusion that, oh, your say has something. It doesn't. You know, pretty much so. They got to give you the illusion of it. They got to make you think that, oh, okay, you know, King Bibi and Donald Trump ain't getting along. You know, that, oh, well, you know, he's furious at King Bibi. He cursed him out, etc. Trump says Israeli strike on Beirut should not have happened amid Iran peace talks. Yeah, because the Israelis, well, they opened fire and they went and bombed the shit out of Beirut again this weekend. U.S. President Trump on Sunday criticized Israeli attack on Beirut, asserting that the strike should not have occurred while D.C. is on the verge of a peace agreement with Iran. This morning's attack on Beirut should not have happened, particularly on a special day when we are so close to a peace deal, Trump wrote on social media platform Truth Social. He argued that the incident Israeli state was responded to was small and meaningless, resulting in no casualties, and urged all parties to stand out and avoid diplomatic process. Slovakia, hold on a second. So, here we are though. Had to attend to my puppy. Like everything else though, you know, I don't know how the recovery is going. It's too early to determine. She's only had a broken leg for a couple weeks now. We know that we'll be under the go down to Egypt for help, you know, and, you know, this is just one of the many things, right? You know, because unless you have a lot of money, he's not going to help you. And even if he did pretend to help, you know what that is. That's tainted, you know. We can get into tainted you-know-whats, and guess what? All those tainted you-know-whats, and that it's, very, 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 very rare, right? Yet a lot of people died after taking it. So you already know what kind of fake healing that Esau has anyways. But nonetheless, though, this is what's going on. Blatant ceasefire violations, yet at the same time, though, they're giving you the illusion that the U.S. and Israeli state, that the leaders can't get along, that Trump is cussing them out. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. We all know the smoke and mirrors. Most people are oblivious to it. But I think that there's enough whistleblowers knowing that, okay, this feud between King Bibi and Donald Trump is all bullshit. Israeli state continues to raid southern Lebanon in open defiance of U.S.-Iran deal. Shortly after the announcement of a memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran, which included the end of war on all fronts, including Lebanon, Israeli terrorists pressed ahead with their assaults south of the Arab country, violating the deal. According to Lebanese media outlets, Israeli warplanes carried out 2 airstrikes in the early hours of Monday, targeting the town of Majazan. A drone strike hit the areas of Kafar Tabat as well. There were, however, no immediate reports about possible casualties and the extent of damage caused. Additional reports noted further strikes by the occupation forces in the towns of Qayyim and Majah in southern Lebanon, alongside with a drone attack on the town of Haras in the Benjil district of Nabita Governorate. Hezbollah continues to confront Israeli occupation and respond to its ongoing aggression against Lebanon and its people. See, the only defending government that Lebanon has is Hezbollah. So you already know that the Israelis are going to violate this so-called agreement if, well, let's just say it, they already have, in every way possible. So we're at that time, though, that, things are coming to a complete shakeup, right? There's a stirring that's going on, right? But we also know, though, that, this devil's going to come down having great wrath against us, knowing that his days are determined, knowing that his time is short. I'll just get that really quick, because a lot more coming out of this, while they say peace and safety, then come the sudden destruction. But we won't be overtaken in the essence that, we won't be caught off guard. Yeah, we're going to go through some shit, but yet at the same time, though, at the same time, though, that we're going to be saved out of it, But we are going to go through great tribulation. We're going to go through much hardship, because that's what tribulation means. But yet, we're going to be saved through it. We just have to believe. We just have a little time left. Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where Yahweh prepared a place to care for her 1,260 days. And this is talking about the Assyrian captivity. And then this is going into the very end, the time that's about to happen. There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragons and his angels. It's talking about when Yahweh Shai returns with Michael and the angels. That is talking about the chariots. And Esau's air force, his space force, are going to fight. And the dragon lost the battle, and his angels were forced out of heaven. Meaning that they were pretty much chased out of the skies, destroyed. His armies were completely destroyed. That great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, the one deceiving the whole world, was thrown down to the earth with all his angels, meaning that he was cast down, he was destroyed forever. His armies were wiped out. He had nothing left. And that's coming. That's in the midst of the Third World War, when he tries to fight against Michael and the angels, tries to fight against Yahweh Shai. Then I heard a loud voice shouting across the heavens, "It has come at last, salvation and power, and the kingdom of our power, and the authority of his Hamashiach." This is NLT, I forgot to say that. "For the accuser of our brothers and sisters has been thrown down to the earth. The one who accuses before our power day and night," talking about the Edomites. "And they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony." And that is pretty much, a lot of us died as martyrs. Okay? Straight out the gate, a lot of us are going to die as martyrs. A lot of us also, are going to go through many, many things. But a lot of us are going to die in this truth. That's what's about to happen. They did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die. Meaning that, okay, yeah, you're going to kill me. So what? That doesn't have anything over me. I don't want to live in your fucked up kingdom anyways. You're about to be destroyed. Why would I want to live in yours? Meaning that we didn't take the MOTB. You know, because that's going to be the main reason that we were cast down to die. You know. But if anything, though, we're going to have our place in heaven. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens. And you who live in the heavens, rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. That's where we're at right now. See, Esau knows that he has very little time left. When the dragon realized that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child, meaning he came after the Israelites, especially the kingdom of Judah and Jerusalem. You know, all 12 tribes. And have you not seen the king of Babylon come after us in every way possible? ISIS, etc. You know. But she was given 2 wings, like those of a great eagle, so she could fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness. And this is talking about when we escaped the Assyrian captivity. You see, this kind of goes back and forth between that time as well. Then she would be cared for and protected from the dragon for a time, times and a half a time. So that was a whole point in time. But also, keep in mind, though, that there is going to be some of us that are going to be able to escape these said perils. You know, that don't have to die as martyrs. Some of us are going to be protected and cared for. You know, there's going to be those that are also spared from all the things that are coming. You know, that's why we got to stay on our watch. And we got to still do this thing diligently. You know. So, hopefully this has all been edifying. Then I want to say Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakatam Jehovah Olek. And got one more here before I close this out. And this is from Apostle Tahar, Apostle Ricard, Don Cornelius, and other topics, right? You know, so he's proposing a question. Shalom, Bracha the Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakatam, Jehovah Olek, Shalom.
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shalom, Shalom, to the 144,000, and the rest of you like that, Shalom to you all. And I'm bringing title this video. This is just for fun. I'm just going to play part of this video right here. And I'm going to entitle this video, Apostle Ricard, Don Cornelius, just for fun. So listen up. That's how you got to have fun with this. Shalom. Wait, he left? Shalom, this is Apostle Ricard. I say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. And I'm here in Indianapolis still, and I'm here with elders and officers and brothers here in Indianapolis camp. Okay, so usually, you know what, man? Fuck that, I gotta stick to my commitments. So where can I start? I gotta get on my Don Cornelius. I'm gonna start with the elder D-man. We're gonna work our way around the room, and you better speak up loud and exalt your voice, man. Alright? So I'm gonna get on my Don Cornelius. Soul time here. Okay? So I'm gonna start right here. What's your name? Damashapat. My name is Damashapat. The name of my page is GMS Damashapat, and then I've been having problems with that page, so I'm gonna start uploading on my backup page, GMS. What's it? GMS, it will not tarry. So my letters I'll be a part of that. What's your name? Ayashar Brozon. I'm on page GMS. Ayashar Brozon. My backup page is Badass. Alright. What's your name? Around my page is GMS around that one. Okay. Alright. What's your name? GMS, faithful to the death. Alright. What's your name? Page GMS, Israel will prevail. Alright. What's your name? My page GMS. Alright. What's your name? Ashkayar, you made GMS on 9 posts. Alright, okay. You got this bad. Show you about some love. Your pages, man. Anyways, we getting on there. Man, you know what, man? Hey, you want to say, man? That's why Zechariah 13:8
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, the third shall be left therein. Go ahead, man. You got it. So we're seeing 2/3, man. We're seeing the actions of the 2/3, man, right now, man. We were just like going into it a little earlier. How these Cougars and Ray Rays and Keishas, brother, we were just talking about how the neighbor, somebody staying across the street from him, tried to rob him, of his breaking his truck, which caused this video to come about. So we live amongst these devils, man. So the Lord is going to take 2/3 of these out of here, man, because they deserve, all right, what's coming to them. Right? A lot of them want to die these plagues. Most of them going to die with the thermonuclear fight.
Cut you out. Supposedly this new pandemic is coming in too. So that's going to help. That's going to help tighten things up. Okay, they said this new pandemic is supposed to be coming in. You know what, man? You motherfuckers, y'all just become some fucking goddamn useless eaters, man. All you fucking Quishas and Keishas and Big Shirleys, y'all were now we used to bring that scripture out for Esau, right? If their children be multiplied, they be multiplied for the sport. Multiply the Drake too. Because you got the average, like Lester's people all the way.
Wait, he said that. Let me do this here. Give me 1 second. The video that was put up earlier, and I'll give it to you in a minute. Okay, this right here, I was watching this. We're making fake chicken now. Chicken tastes a little funny as fake chicken. What I did was the very last video that I did, I put the information. Mr. Beast explained fake chicken in restaurants. And that's the page right there. But this is what I wanted to do. Since they were talking about the 2/3. Okay, let me go right here on the channel. Okay, where are we? Here we go, this right here, this video right here. Out of the mouth of babes, read, I will destroy my people. Let me play some of this. So this is a dream that a baby, head couldn't be no more than 4, maybe 3. Israelite baby, beautiful Israelite baby. Having a dream, which is a vision. She had a vision. I'm just going to let that play. So I did the video, and you can watch the main video, which is, I'm sorry. Dream Rest and Quiet Early 2. If you haven't subscribed. This is the original page. So I'm just going to let this play. And I'm going to entitle the video, Out of the Mouth of Babes. This is put up by Dream Rest 2. We, I will destroy my people. Young Jake girl, wax baby, vision. Hashtag judgment, hashtag prophecy. And you know I'm going to do first before I go on and give you the precept. Move this over. Where am I from the show? There we go. Give me a second, y'all. Everything's acting up. When I'm going to cook, everything acting up. Let me just fast forward it. I know where we're at. This is going to work. And I'm going to entitle this video, Out of the Mouth of Babes. This is move this over.
To worship me, but they have turned away from me.
This is obviously just what she put.
I have created the Lord said to me.
The mouth of David.
What did you say the Lord said to you?
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
This is obviously just what she put together.
What did you say the Lord said to you?
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
What did you say the Lord said to you?
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
What did you say the Lord said to you?
The Lord said to me, I will destroy my people. I have created them to worship me, but they have turned away from me.
So you can watch this video, you can watch the original video.
Which we did earlier.
TMS Inquirer early, too. And this is a video that was put up early today, which I took from this video right here. And like I said, let me play part of this again, since the Apostle recall is going into the same subject. So you know what I'm going to do, let me do this. Let me come back over here, listen to a little bit more of this. But I just wanted to get the Don Cornelius part.
I don't give a fuck. The niggas get emotional, get upset. We don't give a fuck about fucking black women. Okay? We don't give a fuck about you. You're nothing but just fucking goddamn bottom feeders, man. And most of y'all, 80% of you guys, are overweight. Okay? Overweight. Morbidly obese monsters. And then you get married. Y'all get married. When you see Jake, a black man with a white girl, or not even a white girl with a Latina woman, a Hispanic woman, why he with her? You big fat fucking goddamn monster, chocolate hippopotamus.
That's actually a real thing. They got like a black female hippopotamus.
Man, you gonna read that too? Jake's supposed to be with you? Oh man, we went fishing. Me and the other D-Max, we went fishing with our father the other morning. We got on out there, man, out to the spot where we went to. I had no Edomite there. She was really good. Yeah, man, that's so goddamn blessed. We pulled up. I said, hey now. He smiled, yeah. Bobby got a man stretch and bending all over. Fine. Bad, man. Like Ali said, bad, man. Bad. I should give him my damn business card. Take my bike out there. You gotta have fun with this thing sometimes. But anyways, so I'm gonna choose that. I'm gonna be with some fucking goddamn fucking big black hippo. Hungry hippo. Right? With fake hair. And here's the funny part, right? All of a sudden, these black women got a problem with white people or white women. But you gotta look like the white woman. You got these black as an Oreo cookie with a blonde wig on. With blonde wigs on. Can you imagine that? Big as you want to be. 354. You know what I'm saying? Walking around, knees rubbing together. I'm gonna get on you. We gonna get on you. And all you punks, I'm gonna say it a couple of days. I'm trying to fuck that tonight. You faggots. I said it. I said 2/3 of the bucket. Like George Clinton said. You might cut my page, cut the page. I'll just up another page, man. Fuck you.
Well, he's been there, going in. But anyway, if you want to watch the rest of it, you can watch it. I just wanted to have a little fun. Because that was the first time I seen it perform Don Cornelius. Apostle recording Don Cornelius. And other topics. Anyway, shalom on to the next. Wait a minute, let me just go check this. Check the notifications. Okay, so this is, maybe it's the same video, but they changed the name. Boy, sit down and listen. Boy, sit down and listen. Yeah, this is it right here. There's another good one, put up by arrows of indignation. Now this Nigerian, my doctor told us Nigerian that he was one of the Israelites because his last name was Ephraim. He said, yeah, you're one of the Israelites, the original Israelite. Because a lot of these so-called know that we're the people, and every once in a while they'll say, yes, you're the original. Watching some of this big-headed black woman talking nonsense, doesn't understand the scriptures. Anyway. Right, this is another one. Evil help push the microchip. Let's watch a little bit of this. I hope there's no copyright. You know the deal. If not, if it is, I'll cut it. Just want to watch a little of this. What this is all about. Eve will help push that RFID microchip MOTB sleazy pet dog. Can we go right to it?
Under your skin, and you can then go off and have it programmed and then do various things inside the building.
Fair use. I'm not going to play this because, let me see. I want to get the part with Eve. But you can see them, that's not the chip, that's the palm print. That's what they have installed in Whole Foods. This guy right here, entering his car. I'm sorry. Come back a little bit more. What is here? That was attempted to enter into his car and put the chip up here. There's somebody using the chip. This is the chip right here. I mean, this is stuff that we already know. Anyway, shalom, on to the next.